Anywhere you go around the world, where you have the water, the sea, the ocean, people are not doing it like the same way. But they have a relationship with the water.
When discussing surfing, most people consider the sole origin to be by the Polynesians, and the first known account to be the 1700s in Hawaii. More recently, anthropologists and historians have now challenged this theory, opting for the knowledge that the wave riding culture was also developed independently around the world, including the west coast of Africa, hundreds of years prior. In Senegal, you can see the clues everywhere. It's in the presence of boat building, of traditional surf canoes and sustainable fishing. It's in mythical references to the deities of the sea. It's in coastal communities' connection to the water. Guejj Gui. In the local language, that means ocean people. So much of this history is undocumented in writing. Tracing this theory on a continent and culture where oral history and storytelling takes precedence was going to be hard. So Robin and I, two black filmmakers from the Caribbean, with a pull to the African continent, decided there was only one way to find out: to visit Senegal, to talk to its people, and listen to their stories.
So I started surfing, which was kind of random. I was on the beach with my cousin and we just saw people surfing and we said, oh, well, we should try, I think. So that's how we started.
Sharif Fall is Senegal's surf champion. He's quick and agile on the waves. He's competed internationally in places like Morocco and Cape Verde and has won the West Africa Tour twice, being the first black surfer to ever win. In the local coastal towns, he's a hero, and rightly so. When you watch Sharif surf, you start to notice what's really particular about the surf style in Senegal. It's like the music of this region. It's technical, but also loose, uninhibited, embodying the free spirit of West Africa. When Sharif surfs, it's like he's dancing on waves. I managed to get on a video call with Professor Kevin Dawson, a history professor and author of the book Undercurrents of Power, exploring aquatic culture in the African diaspora to understand more about this lost narrative of African surf.
I stumbled upon all these accounts of Africans surfing while I was working on the book, which I thought was just going to document like Africans canoeing, swimming, underwater diving, fishing, those sorts of things. And just happened to find early accounts describing parents teaching their children to surf, but because they were written by Europeans, and the Europeans didn't really kind of know what was going on. And I knew that those accounts, these accounts are from the 1600s. This is before Oceanians, Polynesians, Micronesians, Melanesians, Europeans had encountered them. There's no way that Europeans would have introduced surfing from the Pacific.
I feel like everyone knows that you're the champion surfer of Senegal, but I don't know if a lot of people know how you started.
When I am young, I'm doing this on the beach, then go. Like this, I'm learning surfing, and I go there and my mom, and they are cleaning and they cleaning fish and the beach, and I have bodyboard like this, I'm learning surfing. And after this, I come back to the contest and I make my first position, and yeah.
You won the contest?
Yeah.
So sick.
Sharif introduced me to Dam and Ismaila, his friends from the Senegalese surf community. Together, they showed me some of their favorite surf spots on the coast, and they know these waves well.
I better see you in the middle of the wave, eh?
Sharif and most of his friends are from a tribe known as Masters of the Sea, the Lebu tribe. For hundreds of years, they've revered the sea and lived in unity with it. The clues are everywhere in their stories, their cultural practices, and especially in the art of building their iconic boats known locally as pirogues. With my new friend Babacar, the owner of a local surf school, I visited Yoff Beach to examine the origins of the pirogue and any similarities with a modern surfboard.
And so one of the things I argue is that surfing was a way for Africans to understand how to actually reach coastal fisheries and shipping lanes. So the only way to get from land to sea is to cross through the surf. And so what Africans established then, well, what they invent are surf canoes. And you would have seen variations of them, like they have the ones in, like the Lebu use with the big wave break on the front. You can see that those canoes in Senegal are designed for cutting through much steeper, larger waves.
Well, with this much expertise in traditional boat making and the history of surf canoes that navigated surf zones along the coast, plus hundreds of local surfers, I wondered why the surfboard shaping industry hadn't taken off here in Senegal. This led me to El Hadj, one of Senegal's only surf shapers.
Comme nous manquons de matières premières pour faire le shape, donc notre mission est de récupérer les vieilles boards sur place pour les transformer et les donner en seconde vie. Nous réparons les planches de surf au niveau de Dakar et ça fait 20 ans qu'on est dans ce milieu. Les locaux apprécient notre travail et notre expertise. Voilà, mais comme nous prenons de l'âge aussi et nous dirons dans le métier, donc on a envie de déléguer les autres savoir-faire à la nouvelle génération.
In West Africa, storytelling is the main medium by which history is passed down through generations. With this in mind, Babacar invited me to share the traditional Senegalese lunch, chaboudouin, with his father and to learn about the Lebu tribe and their role as masters of the sea.
Oh, he has seen it nowhere. He just find out the board and start taking a wave. And the way he was doing it was he just took a wave and go straight to the wave. Since he's been a child, you know, they were doing it like with piece of wood. They would just use that and take a wave, paddle on it, and try to just slide on the wave, you know.
What? That's amazing. I had a lot of questions about the origins of surfing. But what I could be sure of is the more that I listened to stories of the community here, I knew that wave riding in Senegal had to exist way before the erroneous claims made in the 1966 cult movie that put surfing on the map in North America and Europe.
I'm working on an article right now where I'm actually challenging a lot of the claims that were made in Endless Summer, because I think it is important to recognize, as we're telling this story of African surfing, that we're not, doing things to traditional Hawaiians, because they are, I think, rightfully so possessive of their narrative of surfing. And so they create this trope then that white men were able to rescue and resuscitate surfing. Hawaiians and other Oceanian people had been putting fins on surfboards for hundreds of years by that time. And so that's what happened, in Endless Summer when those three Californians arrive in Senegal first, are making these claims that they're introducing surfing.
So when we're thinking about this traditional offering that is made, what is the significance of pouring the milk into the sea?
Anywhere you go around the world, in the Caribbean or everywhere around the world where you have the water, the sea, the ocean, people are not doing it the same way, but they have a relationship with the water. They either can throw some coins, or some other people, they just do some kind of ceremonial and stuff like that. But here we do it because that was a legacy that we have from our grandparents.
I think all of it is so important and so beautiful. I love this like essence of like African spirituality and the merge, you know, of like culture and religion, and I think that is pretty beautiful. Still, there was an untold story here, one that I wanted the world to consider. It was more than just being the first and highlighting this narrative. It was more than the romanticizing of surf culture. It was more than catching waves and exploring untouched coastlines. The story here is deeper, but one shrouded in mystery. If you were invited to experience it, only there could you witness the affinity of the Lebu tribe with the ocean. One day, as Sharif stood on a rocky shore with the powerful waves crashing below, I saw him start to pour. Over his head, on his body, on the shore, and into the sea. A stream of white, a mysterious offering of thanksgiving, a liquid prayer for protection, a pure, undiluted homage to their traditions as Guejj Gui, the ocean people.
Excuse me. Give us a rundown of the parade. Talk to the camera.